When it comes to the NFL and college football, I have always leaned pretty hard NFL, but I do love college football. And I follow a lot of the major storylines, the Alabamas. I always tell people I'm a bandwagon Florida Gators fan. I was a huge Tim Tebow fan growing up. Again, a story for another day. Go Gators, although they are still in utter chaos ever since Tim Tebow has left and Urban Meyer as well. Again, story for another day. What I saw in the Red River rivalry against Texas and Oklahoma really got me thinking. Oklahoma lost Lincoln Riley 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And Oklahoma fans, they were acting like a girlfriend broke up with them that they had been with for years, and then they went and hooked up with the neighbor and got married to them, and it just completely broke their hearts. But enter in Brent Venables. Last year, Lincoln Riley was the talk of the town in college football. He was turning around USC. They made the Cotton Bowl, if I'm not mistaken, lost to Tulane. And they had some of the same problems that you had at Oklahoma. And crazy good shotgun level offense that was just, shooting things all over the place. It was a beautifully orchestrated offense with Caleb Williams and company. And then their defense, they still had a lot of the same problems they had before. On defense, it was giving up a lot of plays, a lot of the big chunk plays. Their defense, very soft up front, whether it's defensively, just getting pounded at the point of attack, offensive lines, defensive lines, never as good as people think they are. And it's that little stuff that just continues to not break USC's way. But people gave Lincoln Riley the credit. They say, you know what? He turned this team around. We've been as good as we've been since the mid-2000s, early 2000s. And so, you know what? Got to give him a year. He's got a lot of transfers. And even myself, I was like, you know what? You got to give Lincoln Riley a couple of years because I thought it was a steal that he went over to USC. And now they have a lot of the same problems. I don't know if you watched the USC University of Arizona game over the past weekend, but they should have lost. If not for a really boneheaded mistake by Jed Fish calling just an abysmal call in overtime, costing them the game, Jed Fish and University of Arizona outplayed USC for large portions of that game. Caleb Williams had 4 completed passes going into the third quarter. He wasn't great. He pulled a rabbit out of its hat. USC has the same problems they did last year. Their defense is atrocious. USC is not the best team in their own conference. They're not the second best team in their own conference. Oregon and Washington both will pummel them when they have the chance to play those teams. And so that brings me to my next point. Oklahoma and Brent Venables are not only good at offense now, they're good at defense. The thing that they could never get right under Lincoln Riley, they're goal line stuffing Texas in the Red River rivalry and winning the game. Oklahoma's better than USC right now. And they're, largely the same historical franchise, organizational football. Probably Oklahoma, a slight nudge to them. They've got a lot of great Heisman winners. They've won national titles. All that good stuff when it comes to Oklahoma. Played in a lot of big games, USC, national titles. But I probably still give the nod to Oklahoma over there. But now they've surpassed USC, which no one, even myself, saw coming. Oklahoma's in better hands right now than they were with Lincoln Riley. Brent Venables has this team humming. Dillon Gabriel, a guy in which everyone last year and this year were kind of having second thoughts about Dillon Gabriel. He's slinging the ball now. He's really coming to his own. I was one of those people, and I told my close friend, I said, you sold your soul for a paycheck. You're going to the SEC, and you're going to be a BB gun offense and a tissue paper defense, tissue paper in the rainstorm fading defense. It's going to be very bad, but you're going to make a lot of money, so good for you, and you're going to take the whole Oklahoma-Texas Red River rivalry thing over to SEC, and you're going to make a lot of money. I was wrong. USC with Lincoln Riley has serious problems. They're not the best team in their own conference. They're not the second best team in their own conference. Again, Washington and Oregon are both better than them. Did Oklahoma luck in to getting Brent Venables in and Lincoln Riley out? Because the offense is still awesome. And now the defense is good. And Lincoln Riley and USC still has the same problems that they had in Oklahoma. They're a soft football team. They're not good in the trenches. They're horribly tackling on defense, and they're horribly coached on defense. If not for Caleb Williams continuously pulling a rabbit out of their hat, this is a 500 football team. This is a Caleb Williams or bust team, not just offense. And it really gives you food for thought. Is Oklahoma better off with Brent Venables than they were with Lincoln Riley? Because the defense is fixed now. The offense looks awesome. They are humming. They are probably going to be vying for a national championship spot, college football playoff spot. I guess I should preface that by saying a college football spot. They're probably going to have to play Texas again in the Big 12 championship game, if I'm not mistaken there. But Oklahoma, at this point, is surpassing USC because Lincoln Riley, yep, offensive wizard. Check, we knew that. And we all said, including myself, well, it's the Big 12. You can't have a good defense in the Big 12. It's almost sacrilegious. Well, Brent Venables has done it, and now he's moved over to the West Coast and USC, and his defense is still abysmal. Makes you think. Brent Venables and Oklahoma are humming, and they look like a perfect marriage. And USC and Lincoln Riley, yes, a good organizational football-wise. But this is less than what we thought coming into the second year. The defense is still a real problem. The defensive and offensive line are mostly overrated and lackluster. This is a Caleb Williams or bust team, not just offense, and he continues to have to pull rabbit out of his hat. And I don't expect USC to come close to Oregon and Washington, and I absolutely expect Oklahoma to vie for a college football playoff spot.